there obviously are political risks with any structural adjustment program, IMF or not. And the results are mixed. I mean, I have at least two countries in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, Dominica and Grenada, that have had programs and had governments elected, re-elected after those programs. In those cases, the case was made, the people understood. The government got in front of the issues once they made the hard decisions, and the population rewarded them by re-electing them. So it is not a foregone conclusion that it's political suicide. As I said, there are risks, no doubt about that, but obviously the most recent experience example is Grenada, which just came off elections a few weeks ago. The second issue is that the point I'll make is that, you know, our countries are members of the IMF for a reason. And when you have a challenge, your membership should count. So I understand the stigma and all of that, but you have to, I guess, you know, sometimes swallow our pride and do what is right, not necessarily what is most expedient. I know that's easier said than done for those who are, especially those of us who are not running for office. You know, we don't perhaps feel the same strain and anxieties. But at the end of the day, the IMF is there for, you know, we're members for a reason, and we need to avail ourselves of the technical support and other financial support that comes with the fund. Thirdly and fundamentally, whatever you decide, it is ultimately a program that the country has to own. And so, you know, people sometimes laugh when you say, well, a homegrown program supported by the IMF, because they see that as a misnomer. They can't understand how could you have a homegrown program and at the same time have the IMF present. What homegrown really speaks to is the fact that you have owned the reforms. You have accepted the situation. You have engaged in a wide dialogue, widespread dialogue within the citizenry, within the social partners, and you have come to a conclusion on the key reforms. So, for example, in Grenada, when we sat around the table with the social partners, we agreed that we would not do mass retrenchment. So, retrenchment in the public service. So, yes, we had to find ways to cut expenditure. There were taxes on the income side, the revenue side, to help with the fiscal imbalance. But we decided we would not, and it was a collaborative decision. The union said no. Obviously, we're concerned about the impact on the workers. The business community said that will affect aggregate demand. The churches said we're concerned about the social justice implications. And obviously, the government would have been concerned from the political side as well. But together, we found other ways on the income side, and also we took the attrition policy very seriously in terms of reducing the size of the public service, so that without sending home anybody, over 3 years, we were able to reduce the public service by 800, just by having a very strict attrition policy that was fully elaborated and endorsed by the cabinet. So I'm just giving that as a simple example to show that at the end of the day, the design of the IMF will give ideas, will give views. Something that people don't know very well, that's not well known in Grenada, is not the IMF that came up with fiscal responsibility legislation in Grenada. It came from yours truly, acting then as PS in the Ministry of Finance, and then went to the Prime Minister, who fully supported it. Obviously, I had been through the trenches as a public servant, and I had seen the vagaries of the cycle and all the difficulties with it and the need for it. Now, the IMF was willing to come on board and support it, but it did not come from the IMF. It was not a demand made by the IMF. The IMF did not ask us to do this. We could check the mission chief, Aliona Sibotari, to confirm this. So I'm just making the point, at the end of the day, it's all about ownership.